Coming up this week on the Course of Life podcast, it's a very special edition of the Course of Life as we're currently on our Ireland golf vacation. We're breaking down all of our itinerary and how you can follow along on the action right now this week with our Links Golf experience. Plus, a couple thoughts on Open Championship Week ahead of the result on Sunday. And this week's guest is the interview that inspired this entire trip. Our friend David Connellan from Tourism Ireland, breaking down everything that we're going to get into on our trip. All of it brought to you by our friends at DesertFoxGolf.com. Hey, Mike, we're going to take the Desert Fox Phone Caddy International transatlantic for the trip. How's that sound?
That and the Swing 8 tumbler, which is going to give us 10% more birdies.
I love that. Yep, the customized Swing 8 tumblers and Desert Fox phone caddies are great products that not only work for you, the individual golfer, but they're really great for large-scale golf events too. So if you're part of a club or you know a club that does large-scale events, or you're putting on a large-scale golf event, or you just want to give out a great gift to a bunch of golfers you know, be sure to tell them Course of Life sent you, and you could be eligible for a $100 cash referral. That's right. They will just give you cash for large bulk orders you place with DesertFoxGolf.com. We love their products. They're great for the golf course. Keep your phone steady, keep you hydrated, keeps your cigar in place, all the good things you need on the course from our friends at Desert Fox Golf. So again, tell them Course of Life sent you and head over to DesertFoxGolf.com.
Interwebs, and welcome to Course of Life. We are proud to be presented by our friends at Desert Fox Golf and the Live Take app. I'm Michael, he's Alex. And Alex, we're recording this week's episode a little ahead of time because while it is the Open Championship this weekend, and we would typically right now be talking about the winner, which probably won't be Rory from what it looks like right now. We're actually in Ireland as you're listening to this episode, dear listener.
At this very moment, yes.
Literally at this very moment. I can't do the time difference to tell you what we might actually be doing right now. But if you're listening to this at drop time, I think we're sleeping because it's like a 7-hour time difference. So depending on East Coast, West Coast, we're sleeping. But we're going to talk a little bit about what we've seen already in the Open Championship. And really what we've seen is some low scores and everyone else going in the opposite direction.
Yeah, I know. It's always fun to watch the Open, regardless of where it is and what the weather's like, because the courses are brutal and links golf always catches you in the weirdest ways. And the evils of links golf have been on display all week at Royal Liverpool. We've had successes and birdies, but we've also had some super LOL moments. The out of bounds on 18 has screwed a lot of rounds over, and we've seen a lot of F-bombs and curse words, but mainly it's those bunkers, Mike. It's those pot bunkers. Rory had a fit in one. Tony Finau had to putt the ball about a foot just so he could extricate himself out of the bunker. And I think basically it's an interesting harbinger of what our play on links golf might be look like is what McIlroy and Finau and many of the world's best golfers have looked like, which is quite embarrassing in links golf conditions.
I mean, I think my golf game is at times embarrassing even in the best conditions, so it's going to be downright disgraceful.
These pop bunkers, Mike. Okay, I've been taking a look at these pop bunkers. I'm mentally getting ready to fling that club up in the air. We are carving those bad boys out. We need full loft on that sandwich to get out. So I'm mentally planning that out. You can follow along on our socials and see if that's coming to fruition this week. Again, it's COL Podcast on Instagram. I'm at Course of Life Alex on socials. You're at MWRINC. The one other open thing I wanted to shout out before we get to our itinerary and everything we're doing this week, Mike, is the YouTube game and the content game was strong from the Open. I'm giving them the award for the best major championship content, and is the behind the scenes videos they put on YouTube. They did amazing locker room look-ins during the practice rounds, amazing behind-the-scenes interviews with players during tournament week. And it was just really cool to see the lens that they gave fans at home through YouTube, which I know is kind of the future of the way a lot of people consume golf, as crazy as that sounds. But it was really good to see that. So I'm officially donning the Open, the official major championship winner for best content in 2023.
Well, we've known for a long time that the DP World Tour just owns the content game. And it's just disgraceful how poorly the PGA Tour even tries sometimes No offense to those, to the people who work there, but the DP World Tour just does better stuff. I mean, there was nothing quite like watching them trying to hit, full on power drives and have it land on a 1 yard wide.
Oh, yes, the 1 yard fairway, of course.
Yeah.
Yes. How about the hole-in-one challenges as well, too? They do many of those. The DP World Tour is way ahead of their game in the content game, which is why everything that's happening is completely a full circle moment. We kind of jokingly talk about the DP World Tour as if it's some part of the world that, we'll never, ever get to or venture to, and it's just something out there that we only see on our television screens. But, Mike, we are actually going to be part of it all, and we're going to be not only media members for a DP World Tour media event, but we're going to be on a week-long excursion as everyone listens to this through Ireland on behalf of our friends at Tourism Ireland. Just an unbelievable trip, and the itinerary is nothing short of amazing.
Yeah, let's just walk through it a little bit so people can know what day of the week they need to really be paying attention, which is every day of the week. You need to pay attention. Day 1 and 2
have already happened for those listening right now, just FYI.
That's right. Day 1, we played at Royal Dublin Golf Club, and Alex, you would have played literally straight off the plane. So
that's going to be an interesting experience. Let's just say that ahead of time. But that was really cool. A really cool timeline there for Monday. And listen, a great way to start your day. Just fresh off the plane to the course. Don't think about anything. Just let the fun begin. Right.
Yep. Exactly. And then on Tuesday, we would have been at the home of the 2006 Ryder Cup. That was the K Club. The Palmer North Course is hosting the Horizon Irish Open on the DP World Tour in September. And we would have been there. We would have been meeting with a player Q&A. We would have been meeting with other people there. And then we go play golf. And it's going to be more embarrassment.
What a great day. Oh, yeah. I mean, we'll get to your game in a bit. Don't worry about that. Yeah. This is a Ryder Cup venue. I guess that's probably a first for us. Have you ever played a Ryder Cup golf course? No. Okay. I haven't.
I think I've only played, I'm forgetting the name of the course we played. That held a senior tour event for a while down in Florida.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, good call. Yeah, in Naples there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, and that's not quite a Ryder Cup venue. So this is the real deal. It's going to be cool to see the history behind the international competition. We're going to have that on full display. There's going to be some momentous Rory McIlroy moments, which we'll be recalling. So be sure to again follow us on social right now because we'll have that stuff up on Instagram at COL Podcast, at Course of Life Alex, and at MWRINC. So let's get to what the rest of the week has in store for fans who are following along right now and listening and want to see more of our crazy Ireland itinerary here.
Yeah, on Wednesday, we're hitting a top 100 course in the world, and that is the European Club.
Oh, I didn't know it was top 100. Okay.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Yeah, the interesting part about this trip, Mike, is that we're flying into Dublin, and we're going to talk a little bit about what that's like logistically with our guest this week. But we're not just seeing the city. We're going to take a trip down the southeastern coast of Ireland, and we're going to see things, parts unknown. I specifically made a point to research everything maniacally regarding our Dublin time. But Mike, I left Wexford and the South Coast trip completely blank. I have zero expectations. I don't know what it looked like. I don't know what to do there. So I'm just ready to be wowed with everything outside of the actual city itself.
Yeah, I'm going in with doing zero research on this entire trip. So I'm just waiting to be floored with everything we do.
I'm going to be your Anthony Bourdain for the trip. You're going to be so sick of me about 2 or 3 days in. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be a great time, really, it is.
I mean, it's really nice to only talk with you and never have to see you once a week for just like an hour a week. And now I'm going to have to spend a whole week with you. It's going to be difficult.
We're going to have a lot of stuff, like you mentioned, from the trip all week. Follow along. There's going to be videos for YouTube. We're going to do a very cool audio diary of sorts. Our Links Golf journey will be next week's podcast. So get very excited for that. Behind the scenes, guests within the podcast, audio of us on the course, off the course, at the hotel, around town, in the pubs, maybe all over the place. Check out those reels on Instagram as well, too. We'll post to threads. I'm going to be working on a travel article for the first call. So all sorts of content coming from this entire week's trip. Be sure to follow along if you haven't already. I'm giving you an extra moment to do it. And Mike, the surprise for you is there's going to be another piece of content that I'm making on my own, but I can't tell you anything about it because I'm going to be placing bets on what you do on the golf course all week.
Do I get to be part of these bets? How are the odds
your golf game is going to determine all of the bets. Let's just put it that way. So I can't, ruin the authenticity of the bet by telling you what the numbers are. I'll tell you exactly what the parameters are. There's definitely going to be a bet for sure. How many bunkers you go in? We're going to be keeping track of that for sure. We're not going to give out any numbers right now, but we're going to get excited for your trauma on the golf course, basically.
There are plenty of times when I don't go into a bunker for several months. Now, whether I played golf during those several months or not is another story entirely. There are times though when I can be quite good getting out of a bunker. I think that when I think we're both going to be so enamored by everything we're doing and at the same time exhausted that we're not going to be thinking about how good or bad our game is. We're just going to go there and play our brains out. And we're going to see what happens.
Free flowing. I love it. Okay. I like the confidence. I appreciate that too. Yeah. So we'll have a lot of fun golf content on and off the course from the entire trip. Be sure to tune in, and it should be a great rest of the week in Ireland.
Coming up this next weekend is the 3M Open. Tony Finau, defending champion. And what do we think? What's it going to look like? It's usually a pretty sleepy event. Of course, it's after the Open Championship. So
yep. It's a tough spot on the calendar, admittedly, to draw the best field. A lot of players looking to take these next couple off because, believe it or not, Mike, the calendar moves very fast now. We've shrunken everything in the last couple of years. FedEx Cup playoffs are just a few weeks away. So that's all coming up very fast. On the heels of major championship season, you're going to see a lot of the best sit out these next couple of weeks. So it's not the greatest field at 3M, but it's a very passionate fan base. They had a Champions Tour event at the same course for 25 years. They've now held this event there for 4 or 5 years now. And I'm looking forward to seeing some good golf at TPC Twin Cities. My favorite part of this week, Mike, is there are just some beautiful homes right along the fairways that are in clear view of the TV cameras. So you can do a little bit of open house home shopping while you're watching the coverage this weekend.
Look, I did not win the $1 billion Powerball jackpot, so I do not have money to buy a house on the golf course.
It's not too crazy. It's funny what happened during the COVID year. You may remember there were people that were actually saying that they wanted to go into open house viewings of houses that were on the course, and they could use it as an excuse to walk through the home into the backyard and watch the golf when no fans were allowed. So just a fascinating dynamic there. But nonetheless, fans are very much back at TPC Twin Cities. So excited to see what the action looks like this weekend. My full preview will be up on runyourpool.com with all my picks of the week.
Let's switch over to Tuned In, where we share what we're tuning into outside of the world of sports. This week, Alex, I was driving in the car. I was driving home, and I was listening to an interview with Timothy Olyphant, who is known for, he's being interviewed because he has a new series of his old character, which he did as in Justified. If you remember that show from FX a number of years ago, where he played a gun-happy U.S. deputy marshal. And it got really good reviews back when it was on. And it's been on my list for a while. Finally went back, watched the very first episode. And I think I'll be watching plenty more of it. Timothy Olyphant is just great on camera. He just kind of exudes that kind of character you just want to keep watching. You just want. I love the idea that
the content and the interview drove you to watch again. You know what I mean? It's fascinating how when you see the perspective of the actual actor talk about their work and what they're doing, it kind of brings you in a little bit more and reminds you like, oh, dang, that show was on my list. So I'm glad you came around and knocked that one off. Good job.
Yes. Indeed.
Love it. Speaking of TV, officially nominations are out for the Emmys, which we're not 100% sure is going to happen in September, but regardless, the nominations are out and my preview is up on runyourpool.com. Betting, of course, we're betting on everything in this world.
Yep,
but the betting favorite is very clearly Succession, Mike. It seems like it's going to be a Succession-filled night from top to bottom in the biggest categories.
My money is still on The Last of Us, though.
Yeah, they have a chance to win Best Drama Series. They're an underdog there. They have a shot. Bella Ramsey does in the Best Actress category. as well.
She was
She's probably the
great.
third favorite, but big time odds, heavy on Succession. I do have a sleeper pick for who's going to win Outstanding Comedy Series. It's not Ted Lasso, the favorite, so be sure to check out that preview. But Emmy nominations out again, man. We're in the depths of what's looking like a pretty gloomy looking strike, but I hope this thing all gets resolved pretty soon, so we can get Hollywood back to normal.
All right, let's get to this week's guest. We're going to go back to the conversation that really got maybe the wheels turning on our trip to Ireland that we're on right now. And that was a conversation you had back in January at the PGA Merchandise Show in Orlando.
That's right. Yeah, we first connected with Tourism Ireland, the team there, and I was fascinated to have this conversation with David because not only does he have the experience of being Irish himself, but being a part of the team and promoting everything that's great about traveling to Ireland. And here it is, months later. I joked about some things in this conversation about what I would do, and we're doing those things as we speak. So it's a great conversation coming your way with a great Irish fella and David Connellan.
We'll get to that conversation with David, but just a moment. But first, let's talk to you about the Live Take app. This is where we go every week to do a sports debate, and we get it solved once and for all thanks to all of you that get to go on there and vote for what you think is right. And Alex, I just still think this is hilarious. We talked about which of the big four should go away. You see Major League Baseball, and I said the NFL, and the people spoke, and the NFL is gone. It's gone.
I thought the NFL was king. In every sports cycle, I thought the NFL was king. But it just goes to show you that the Live Take audience has other opinions. And it's interesting to actually get the core opinion of people that are out there listening to the debate. Innocent bystanders. It's a really cool way to settle the score with you, your friends, or anyone in your sports world regarding pretty much any debate out there.
That's right. So you can download the Live Take app from your app store onto your phone. You can challenge us even if you want. He's Course of Life Alex. I'm Course of Life Michael. And check out our challenges every week. We're gonna have a good one for Ireland.
We'll do one on the spot.
We'll
We'll find something super Irish pertaining to sports, and that'll be our Live Take that week. So check that out later this week.
Indeed. So again, Live Take, check it out in your app store, download it, check it out. Let your take be heard.
Welcome back. We're live from the PGA Show. It's Course of Life podcast. We have a really special guest. I've seen a lot of representation for Ireland, which everyone knows as a golf mecca. For anyone out there who's looking to plan an elaborate golf vacation, this could be the conversation for you. It's David Connellan joining. He represents everything golf with Tourism Ireland. David, how you doing today?
Alex, thanks for having me.
It's great having you. First impressions of the show. This is the second show for both you and I. How about the difference between last year and what we're seeing this year?
It's incredible, the difference. I think there's, aside from the size and scale, I think certainly with the brands and the gravitas the brand, the equipment manufacturers bring back, I think there's a new buzz about it. Last year, I think people were quite tentative first back in person.
Right.
Not that people were walking on eggshells as such, but this year is like the industry is back, the industry is booming, and you can really feel that energy when you're here.
Definitely, yeah. And obviously, international travel coming back in a big way this past year or so, especially for the U.S. audience listening. Tell everyone about Ireland's representation here and why you guys are promoting now to be a good time to go there.
Look, first in relation to our stand partners, we bring over a lot of industry from both north and south of Ireland. So we'll have over 35 here in total. And
wow.
that adds to a cohort of Irish industry that are here and they come independently anyway. And you'll see that represented on the stand. We have every corner of the country is being represented. Every type of course has been represented, from like our pristine links and our prestige links to a few of the hidden gem parkland courses that we have to mix and make sure that Ireland as a destination is kind of full service for everyone. Whatever you want in terms of your golfing experience, we have it there to supply. And our industry members can talk to the PGA professionals who lead on trips, can talk to buyers and tour operators from other countries and actually sell their product to as wide an audience as possible. And look, the appetite to travel now is absolutely there.
Absolutely.
We've had 2.5 years of pent up demand that kind of rolled through the system last year.
And all those golf trips we couldn't get done.
All those golf trips, like 2019 golf trips, potentially only happened last year. So you have this demand that's rolled over. 2023 promises to be a bumper year. A lot of our courses certainly in the Southwest are at near capacity. So we're looking at other regions to expand in terms of our promotion and our the product that we have diversified in terms of the regions. The Northwest is where it's at for us at the moment in terms of the quality of the product, the welcome of the people, and the fun that people can have outside of just the golf course.
Exciting. All right, let's walk through some of the different courses and landmarks, and also some of the players that are representing Ireland right now on the larger world scale of the game as well. The exciting thing that we're talking a lot about this week is that the Open is going to be back at Portrush.
Yes.
2025. I know one person who's going to be very happy about that is Shane Lowry. I'm sure there'll be a lot of other people that are happy about that. But talk about what that means to Ireland, specifically have the Open back, because that's a big deal to now keep it coming, potentially regular rotation.
It's incredible. It's what it gives. Let's think about what it gives to the area. 190,000 people come into the Open over the course of the week. That is going to expand out to over 200,000 people. The course is adequately set up to host that in terms of logistically. They've done it before in 2019. It comes back after just 6 years, which is a very quick rotation. It's a quick rotation, and I think it was testament to how well the event was run and received.
True, yeah.
And embraced by the Irish people and the international public as well. And we really got to showcase the best of what we had. It's worth hundreds of millions to our to the national economy, both local and in the wider regions. And what it does is, certainly in its location in Portrush, being at the very north of Ireland, it allows people to get into some different areas in terms of their golf experience as well, and expose the likes of a Ballyliffin, which will host the RNA Amateur Championships next year. It'll be the first location that can host that on a 36-hole complex. That's just across the Foyle mouth of the Foyle River or Foyle Estuary in Donegal, and the product in Donegal has risen and risen and risen. So what you're seeing by the return of the Open is we're able to showcase the best of what we have. Portrush is certainly at that level. I think it's world renowned at this stage in terms of being one of the classic Harry Colt design courses that we have, and we have many. And it's the one, and it is the Open that sticks in people's mind as being one of the more memorable ones, because obviously it's been the first time in a long time there's been a home winner for the Irish.
The moment when he lifts his head, the hands up over his head, that's a moment that sticks forever. So.
And Shane is an unbelievable ambassador of Irish golf for Irish golf. And I suppose we've a number of stories that'll build into that. I suppose Rory McIlroy's return after his disappointment in 2019, devastating
everything Rory's doing in the world of golf beyond just the way he's putting the ball in the hole.
Exactly.
He's now become greater than just a world-class player. He's now an ambassador, a figure, a spokesman for the future of the game as an Irish fan.
For golf. I suppose we would have always figured him, and we would have always regarded him as an incredible ambassador for Irish golf. He's actually an incredible ambassador for golf as a sport. And we're just delighted that we have the likes of Shane, the likes of a Rory, the likes of a Leona Maguire.
Yes, I saw her at the CME tournament for the LPGA this past fall, and she's got that focus that's quite unmatched.
Yeah, exactly. Cool you have to a Solheim Cup rookie, and she takes home maximum points with Mel Reid beside her, and turns into a hero in terms of and her meteoric rise to golfing acclaim has been brilliant for the game. And in terms of, I suppose from a tourism perspective, then we can look at how do we leverage that. Leona is from a course called Slieve Russell, which is a fabulous complex parkland course right in the middle of Ireland, and it shines a light on those places that may not have done that. Rory likewise in terms of where he's come from in Hollywood, just outside of Belfast, and Shane as well, and right in the centre of Ireland. So it's not just about our links courses as well, which those guys and girls have shown that you don't just have to grow up on links to be a pure links player, but you can really enjoy the product that we have to offer.
Now, well said. Appreciate you joining again, David Connellan, golf leader for Tourism Ireland, here joining us in the Course of Life live at the PGA show. And that one other Irishman I got to shout out, just because I have an affinity for placing a bet or two each week on the PGA Tour, and I write a little bit of my spare time. Love Seamus Power, because that man knows how to finish high on the leaderboard. You put a little bet on him to finish in the top 10 or 20, he will get you there. So I've had a lot of fun wagering on Seamus Power and watching him play as well.
Yeah, still leading the FedEx Cup rankings into the season.
That's
and
awesome,
I suppose it's brilliant for a guy like Seamus. People look at it a meteoric rise to success and to acclaim, and for Seamus it's been 10 years of working a guy, a graduate of East Tennessee. He's a grinder, an absolute grinder. Has done it the hard way in terms of coming up through the mini tours into Corn Ferry, and as soon as he got a shot, he took it with open arms. He's up into the top 50 in the world, about to head off to his second Augusta. It's been a brilliant to see, and again, another ambassador that we can really hang our hat on from a representation perspective, and a person we're very proud of in Ireland. And we're a small island. We are a very, very small island. Right. Like north and south, we've about 6 million people. Like you've a lot of cities in the US that are bigger than our whole country. And for us to produce that level of golfer who performs on the highest stage, I suppose spearheaded by the likes of Padraig Harrington and Paul McGinley, like we kind of forget that they were the original ones that carved the way for these guys to come through. And not only have these guys and girls continued in that vein, they've forged identities, careers, and been incredible brand ambassadors for Ireland, and especially golf.
Definitely, absolutely. Let's get into some of the golf specifically in Ireland, because I know our travel junkies want to hear a little bit about it. Let's just kind of get into the difference between golf in Ireland versus other parts of Europe. What can people in the US and North America expect when they go over to Ireland to play golf?
Oh, I think it's the diversity that sets us apart in terms of our links and parkland offerings. So to give some context, over 440 courses of a population of our size. We have a third of the world's links golf courses. And the accessibility that comes with that, because we're not a big island. So you're never more than, if you're in the centre of Ireland, you're never more than 3.5 hours away from the coast. So links golf is always very, very accessible. Like we have some of the world's best links courses, and that is without a doubt. Royal County Down consistently ranked there.
Yes.
New courses coming online. Like I suppose people will always have heard of the Lahinches, the Watervilles, the Ballybunions, the Portmarnocks, Portrush, Royal County Down, for example. But we've new links offerings as well, especially in the Northwest. Rossapena, their new course, St. Patrick's, which opened to worldwide acclaim, entered the World Golf, the Golf Digest rankings at 55 in the world.
Nice. Wow.
That's a Tom Doak course that has been reconstructed, that has been revamped. It was an old 36-hole complex. They've turned it. Tom Doak came, spread his magic dust all over the Northwest, and we've one of the best new links golf courses, and probably one of the last links golf courses that will be built. Okay. Gil Hans has just done a major refurbishment. Show
this week as well.
Exactly. Too. Gil Hans has done a major refurbishment of Nairn and Portneuf in Donegal. So we've that level of course designer with world acclaim and gravitas that are designing our and refurbing our links courses, and you add that to the quality of the courses that existed. And we obviously mentioned Lahinch and Ballybunion and the designers that come with that. The likes of Harry Colt and the world leaders in 1920s course design who, as Tom Watson said about Ballybunion, every course designer should go and see Ballybunion before they ever build a golf course. And that is where the esteem with which our courses are held. And we do have an interesting topography in terms of our links golf courses. We have big dune land, and that sets us apart. And the likes of an Enniscrone up in Mayo and Carn, there's just these monstrous dunes.
How tall they get?
Like we're talking 30, 40, 50 meters high.
Oh God, how am I going to get out of there?
Well, you play through them, play around them, don't play over them, and certainly don't play in them, because you're in for a long day. But then, like when you think of our parkland offering, we're about to host in 2027 our second Ryder Cup, following on from the Ryder Cup in the K Club in 2006. So while we have that world-class links offering, we also have a parkland offering. The 2027 Ryder Cup is going to be held in Adair Manor, which is a Tom Fazio design, which is building on what's the momentum that we probably should have had in 2006. Obviously, things changed in the world in 2008, and we probably weren't able to capitalize on it as well as we could. But 2027, we're growing towards the Ryder Cup, having in 2025 obviously held their second Open Championship in Portrush. So we've got momentum, and we're very, very keen on showcasing the best of what we have from a parkland and a links perspective.
Thank you earlier for correcting my mispronunciation. I said Lahink. It's Lahinch. Lahinch. Okay.
Correct.
That's one of the more unique tracks. And one of the other ones I wanted to highlight was Portmarnock, because I've definitely seen that in my golf viewing days. Is it right? It's like quite literally set on like a peninsula. Like there's water on like three sides of the course. That's a very unique setting. You wouldn't think that when you think Irish golf.
Exactly. And 25 minutes from the city centre.
Yeah,
from Dublin city centre. So it is an incredible design. It's one of, I suppose, and it differentiates itself. Our links courses on the east coast of Ireland are quite distinct from our links courses on the west coast.
And what's the main difference there?
Look, west coast is hit by the Atlantic seas, and the winds that come off that, it leads to big dramatic dune lines and enormous dunescapes. Courses are built through and around them, whereas on the east coast it's not hit as hard by the weather. The dune land is a little bit lower, it's a little bit flatter, the course designs are reflected on that. So it's very, very different. But Portmarnock, obviously, having hosted the British Amateur actually in 2018 or 2019, apologies, it's a course of incredible acclaim. It's had multiple Irish Opens. It's been the scene of Walker Cups. It's been the scene of the British Amateur Championships, as I have said. So it is a course of absolute esteem.
Yeah, it's a very neat track to look at, and I can't wait to maybe get there one day. So let's talk through that, what that looks like for people.
Yeah.
When I go to Ireland, when we make this Ireland trip happen, what are the ideal times of the year? I know the weather can be quite fickle there, but what are the best theoretical times of the year to play golf in Ireland?
Look, it's Ireland, so pack your wet gear. Like chances are you might get a shower or two.
Be ready for adversity.
Be ready for adversity. But look, that comes with the type of golf that we offer. I suppose you play on the coast. You take the rough with the smooth in that regard. Excuse the pun, but for us from a time frame, we're lucky. We do have a very temperate climate, so it doesn't get too hot, doesn't get too cold. So anytime from April right through to October, and we're lucky in terms of the daylight you have. Like in the middle of summer, you can literally get onto a golf course at 6:30 in the morning, and you could be hitting last balls at 9:30 at night.
Yeah.
So you've got it. That happens in the middle of summer. But look, our season definitely kicks off around the April time, and then continues right through to, as I said, early October.
Okay.
And the weather won't affect that in any way, shape, or form. Look, you're going to get some better weather in summer. We all know that. But hey, come over for the real experience and test it anytime.
If I'm going to get it, I want the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Give me the whole menu. Let me see it all.
Absolutely. Look, that's part of it. Like, if you think you're going to come over and it's going to be bone dry, like, hey, you got a lucky week. You got a good week. But I suppose that's the nature of a little island in the North Atlantic that kind of punches above its weight in the golf terms.
The evil, cynical part of me almost wants to see what my golf game looks like when it's rainy and the wind is blowing across from the Atlantic.
Yeah,
I want to see it once, maybe.
Like you want to see, like, can you play in a 30-mile-an-hour crosswind when it's a bit wet, and like your caddy's telling you to hit 4 extra clubs and into the wind, and you're hitting a 5-iron 120 yards, but it's the right club to do. So it'll test all facets of your game, no matter what handicap, no matter what type of golfer you are, and that is a big part of it as well. It's not just for the elite golfer at all. Like we have courses that suit every level, and most of all, I think it's the hospitality that comes along with it as well. It's the overall experience, not just on a golf. When you go on a golf trip, you're on the golf course for 4 hours. You have another 20 hours in the day to fill. And I think Ireland offers so much more than other countries in terms of what they offer outside of the golf experience.
No, that's very cool. So let's talk about how that works. I guess let's phrase it in 2 types of trips. Maybe the by the book, regular standard vacation, not going too far from the median, or the more adventurous traveler. It sounds like, you could just fly yourself right into Dublin, play Portmarnock, courses in the Dublin area, stay in the city if you wanted, or you could get more adventurous, hit the different corners, describe kind of the different paths you could take in an Irish vacation.
You've kind of described it, like how this can work. But like our access points are awesome in terms of Shannon Airport, Belfast Airport, Dublin Airport. So you have 3 airports, three international airports that exist there. So within 20 kilometers of landing, you're going to hit a golf course, and you're going to hit a lot of golf courses depending on what the need is. And as you said, there are more standard trips where people will come in, do a city break for a few days, and they'll play a couple of courses close by. I would take you took Dublin, for example. If I took Belfast, you could be out in Ardglass in about an hour. You could be down up in Royal Belfast in about 20 minutes from the airport. So, yes, there are more standard trips. Look, if you want to go and experience something new and something fresh, get out to the West Coast. It'll take you about 3 hours to get out there. But then you're going to experience something that doesn't exist anywhere else from a golfing perspective. And the likes of a Cairn, Enniscrone, Sligo up in the northwest direction, or down towards the southwest, which has, listen, some of the best golf courses in the world in terms of Ballybunion and Waterville. But look, we do have we've 4 very distinct regions from a golfing perspective. And as a tourism body, we're keen on obviously promoting the ones that people maybe haven't heard as much about, but are no less significant or no difference in terms of the quality of the experience.
No, well said indeed. David, well put regarding everything regarding the Irish experience in golf and tourism in Ireland. But we have to get to the important part, which is, I think, why maybe we first got together. We love featuring 19th hole content on our podcast. That is a backbone of every Course of Life podcast episode. And I know you guys know how to do the 19th hole well. Let's talk about what sets the post-round clubhouse experience in Ireland apart from other parts of the world.
Like, there's one answer. It's the people. Yeah. We are known for our hospitality. It's not a myth. People, you'll enter into a family when you get to the clubhouse afterwards. It's the welcome you get from. We're by nature a very very friendly nation. We love seeing our tourists come in. We love seeing people come in and enjoy what we have to offer. And we get as much satisfaction out of that as actually doing it ourselves, to be honest. So, like, what sets us apart? Like, there's nothing like coming in after a round and getting a nice cool pint of Guinness into you. The food, like the diversity in terms of the food that you're going to get is very much homegrown, very much organic, very much part of who we are. It kind of represents our farming background, our heritage in terms of the foods that you're going to get.
We want that taste of home when we're visiting.
You want exactly
your home.
Our home is like what do we have to like? And people that do kind of experience it or look at it from a more broad perspective, I think, really do appreciate that. But certainly, like, our pubs, our hospitality, our drink, our people, that is what sets us apart, and that's what makes a 19th hole. I think a 19th hole as a concept, as an idea, what is it? It's people. Everyone wants to experience it, but it's almost hard to describe until you're actually there and in that moment. And look, seeing is believing. You have to come over it and see it to really know what it is. I could give you my interpretation of it, but it might be completely different for you, Alex, when you get over there and you experience it. It's like, yeah, this is what they were talking about.
No, I'm looking forward to it. You're putting the taste bud on me to get this trip in the works here. So I'm thinking about that for the months and years ahead. But let's get to the choice for you. When you do get into the 19th hole, what is your go-to meal and drink order? I'm guessing Guinness.
Yes,
but the food order Guinness. When you finish 18, what hits best?
Look, it can vary. Like, if I'm early in the morning, I'll go for the traditional Irish breakfast. If we get an early round in, I'll go for the traditional Irish breakfast. But I'm a fan of an Irish stew afterwards. So pint of Guinness, Irish stew. It's kind of, as I said, our weather might not always be that warm. You get in, there's a fire going in the clubhouse, you get a pint of Guinness and a stew, and all of a sudden you start talking to people, conversing with your friends, and it's a real convivial kind of an atmosphere. And all of those little bits in terms of the drink, the food, it all adds to it in terms of the experience. And as I said, actually, like, you've got to come over and experience it, because we can talk about it, but seeing is believing. So that is the key to it.
Very cool. David, thank you so much for hopping on the Course of Life. Really cool to hear that perspective from Ireland. Obviously, check out Tourism Ireland out there if you're interested in hearing more about booking your trip, and hope to see you out there soon.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
And we're back. Great chat there with David. You can just feel that 19th hole hospitality. You know that we're getting loads and loads of it this week.
You know, it's all about fill your heart. That's their slogan there. Fill your heart with that Irish warmth. And it's funny, Mike, I asked the 19th hole question to lots of people that are based in the United States or maybe over on our side of the world. I say, what's special about your 19th hole? They name a food or a drink or a view or something like that. What does David say? The people. That's all you need to know about Ireland and the Irish people right there. It's the people that make the company and the great time. So again, really great sentiments from David, and glad to have that conversation be the forester of what's to come in this amazing trip.
And we've been saying it the entire episode here, but you got to make sure you follow us on Instagram. COL Podcast is the official Instagram account. It's the same on Threads. He's Course of Life Alex. I'm MWRINC on the Gram and Threads. We're on Twitter too. Course of Life 1 is Alex. I am MWRINC. INC. We're on YouTube as well. You know, we'll be posting videos there over the next couple of weeks of our trip. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you can catch all the good tidbits we have from Ireland, plus everything else we do over the course of really everything.
Yes, sir.
Make sure you subscribe. You give us a rating. Let us know what you think of all this. It'll be great. For now, Alex, let's talk about what's coming up to my least favorite time of year.
Where I talk about NFL preseason football for an alarmingly long amount of time?
I mean, we already established through Live Take that the NFL is no more, that people are okay if the NFL goes away. So I don't know why we keep giving it more airtime on this podcast.
So why am I watching 3.5 hours of third stringers play on a Thursday night? Why am I doing that? Because I'm a diehard and I love the game, and camps are underway for the NFL and all 32 teams are officially underway. So my article and my third and final piece this week on Run Your Pool was all about QB battles, Mike. We got a lot of preseason quarterback battles. I'd say the most interesting quarterback room, though, that we're all watching is the New York Jets. You remember they drafted Zach Wilson, who's become an utter failure. He's still hanging around there, but they got a new guy by the name of Aaron Rodgers in town. So we're all very curious to see what that's going to look like. That's the quarterback room I'm watching most in August. But check out my Run Your Pool article for the full list of the most contentious QB battles in the NFL.
Here's my question in July for you. Which of our teams has a better chance of making the NFL playoffs, my Giants or your Patriots?
I mean, crap right now. It's just a crappy draw, to be honest. I mean, Daniel Jones has made some strides, though, last season. That's what I was impressed with. You know, there's a lot of question marks with both teams. Everyone's wondering if Mac Jones is going to take the next leap with his new offensive coordinator. We're both staring down the barrel of like 8 or 9 wins, Mike. It's just a question of how good that is in the AFC or the NFC. I'll give you the 55-45 edge right now in July, but check back in a month once I get some preseason hype going.
Look, the Giants have shown over many years since we've been talking about sports that they're very good at backing their way into the playoffs.
Yes, they are. They're back-end specialists indeed. They never pull through. They always back in. I love it.
That's true. All right, let's hashtag always end with food.
Yep, at AlwaysEndWithFood on Instagram. You should be following there as well, too. We're going to be grubbing on everything. I've already taken a quick gander at the itinerary, Mike, but check out AlwaysEndWithFood for everything that we're eating right now in Ireland. Let's make some quick guarantees. I can guarantee there's going to be fish and chips on that feed. I can guarantee that.
I'm looking forward to that for sure.
I can guarantee there's going to be more Guinness. Real Irish pint Guinness from the pub. That's going to happen. Yep. Probably a failed Guinness challenge from me. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure you're going to fail. I won't, I'll just be there recording it on video. I am probably going to try one morning to just go find like somewhere to get breakfast. I know we get breakfast. I'm going to go find somewhere to get breakfast one morning.
I like that. There are a couple bakeries I got on my itinerary, so we'll be able to hit those early too. Nonetheless, at Always End With Food for everything from this trip to Ireland. Again, thank you to everyone for tuning in and the team at Tourism Ireland for taking us on this amazing journey. Looking forward to sharing all the content in the weeks and months to come. And thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next week.